Good morning, and welcome to Bumblebee Junction.
Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today I am going to do a canning pantry cooking video. I'm going to make an entire meal out of the cans that we have put up, and yeah, it's going to be really good. We're going to do a canning pantry cooking video, and we're going to make a really nice big beef stew. Now, one little short note is that the onions weren't canned, but we did grow them in the garden. So hold on and we'll be right back. Okay, today we are going to be canning beef stew entirely from everything that we have either canned or grown. So we're going to start off with these carrots. Now, I'm going to move this pan out of the way, and I want you to listen to this because it's really important. I'm going to puncture the lid on this jar, and I want you to listen and hear that it hisses, and you can hear it pop. That is exactly how you know that a jar is still good. And you might still have to force the lid up a little bit, but if you look at the lid, you can see that it has formed a nice seal all the way around the lid. And as soon as you puncture it, you're going to hear the hiss, and you know it's good. But I have a nice big pot here, and we are going to make a beef stew from everything that we have in our canning cabinet or we have grown. So I have the carrots, the potatoes, and we're going to puncture 2 of these cans of beef. The other thing that you can do while I'm thinking about it is look on the inside of the lid and make sure there's nothing growing on it. Smell it. It still smells like perfect beef. I have green beans. And I have a can of corn. Now the only other thing that I'm going to add to this are onions, but these are some of the onions off the porch that are still absolutely perfect. And if you watch the other video that I am going to assume will probably be out before this one, we did have a few that put out green shoots that I replanted. But carrots, potatoes, corn, green and yellow beans, beef, and potatoes. All of these came out really good with the seal. And if you're crafty and you're going to say anything about me puncturing the seal, you can still use these for crafts. If you have something that does not need to have an airtight seal, you can still use them. If you have something that does need an airtight seal, you can seal that little tiny hole with a little bit of glue from your glue gun. And these seals, these lids, can be reused. But I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to start adding this to this pot. And I am going to go ahead and put them in with all of the liquid in them. Especially the beef, because when I canned the beef, if you remember from the beef video, we did put some bouillon in them. And I wish you had smell-o-vision because these smell really, really good. And I do like a nice beefy stew, so that's why I'm using 2 jars. You get the corn in here. And that is an awful lot of carrots. So I'm probably going to use about half of them, and I'll use the other half for supper tomorrow. But would like to use, maybe not quite that many, but like to use water out of it. Want to dump these potatoes in here. And yes, I want all of that good starchy water in there too. I'm going to cut up a couple of these onions. And then I'm going to let this boil for a little while. So hold on and I'll be right back. Okay, I have all the onions and everything in here. I'm going to stir it up just a little bit. Now, the canned beef will break up just a little bit, but one thing that I wanted to remind everybody about is you need to boil anything that you have canned for at least 20 minutes. You want to get it up to 165 degrees. Just to make sure you don't have any kind of botulism, nothing that will make anybody sick. But usually when I make beef stew, I let it just sit and simmer for about an hour just to be on the safe side. But everything in that pot we have grown or canned. And it already smells absolutely fantastic. So I am going to let this sit and boil for a little while. But I tend to like to get it nice and hot because I like the potatoes cooked through and nice and soft. So I'll be back in just a little bit and we'll check in on it. Okay, it's been probably about 10 minutes and this is really starting to steam up really good. And it smells fantabulous. So I'm going to let this boil for a little while longer. Want to get everything completely hot through. And as with anything that you can, you definitely want to let it cook for a minimum of 20 minutes to prevent any kind of botulism. But when I cook beef stew, I tend to let it sit and cook for probably at least 45 minutes or so. So I'm going to let this go for a little while longer. And oh, it smells so good. And it is starting to thicken up a little bit. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and let this sit for just a little while longer. And I'll be right back. Okay, this beef stew is ready for supper. It has boiled for probably close to an hour, which is plenty more than the 20 minutes that you have to do for any kind of botulism. But I do tend to like my potatoes a little bit soft, carrots and onions a little bit soft. So we are going to go ahead, dish this up. And there will definitely be leftovers, and we will talk about those later. But I'm going to go ahead and get this dished up, and it is time for supper. So hold on, and I'll be right back. Okay, we have each had a nice big bowl of beef stew, and if you can see down in the pot, we only ate about half of it. But one thing that you can do with leftover beef stew is have leftovers. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave it here, and I'll show you tomorrow what I'm going to do with these leftovers. So hold on, and we'll be right back. Okay, now it's time to talk about leftovers. I've got pretty good amount still of this beef stew, and I'm going to start warming this up kind of slow. I have had it sitting out on the counter because I had it in the refrigerator overnight. So I had it out on the counter coming up to room temp just a little bit. I'm going to get this heated up, get it boiled up, and I'm going to get some mashed potatoes going, and that's going to be supper. So, hold on, and I'll bring you back as soon as I get this all plated up and ready to go. Okay, got this all heated back up, got 2 plates and some nice buttery mashed potatoes. Perfect way to get the rest of the stew ate up. Yeah, that was so good and it smells so good. But it is now time for supper, and I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Okay, so that's all the footage that I have for today, and yeah, I love doing full meals from the canning pantry. That it just, yeah, makes you feel really good. You grew it, you canned it, you had it put away, and you can open a whole bunch of jars and make a really good meal. So anything that you can pull out of the canning pantry, and yeah, absolutely love it. And one thing about a good big beef stew is there's usually leftovers, and there's plenty of ways to be creative to eat the rest of that up. So yeah, I really love doing those kind of meals. Absolutely love it. But I should probably go ahead and get on out of here. I have a few things I gotta do today. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Don't forget to ring that little bell, and it'll let you know when I'm cooking something else up from my big wonderful canning pantry. And oh, I lost my train of thought. I was already starting to think about something else to make. Yeah. Anyway, if you have any comments, questions, suggestions, anything at all on your mind, please leave them in the little box below. And if you enjoyed today's video, please give it a thumbs up. But yeah, my mind is already going for, you know, what can I pull out of the canning pantry and do next time. But yeah, there's so many wonderful things to do. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. Do have a few things to do this afternoon, but hope today's video finds everybody happy, healthy, and safe. And I know today we're still in the midst of trying times, and if you have the opportunity to find anything on sale or buy it in bulk, right now is the perfect time to be canning. And it'll also help warm your house up too while you're doing it. So good things and blessings all around. But I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. But don't forget, we love you, and we'll see you in the next one.